I am the Associate Director for the H.o.p.e program, and H.o.p.e stands for the Hands-On Preservation Experience, and it's one program of the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And a little bit about the National Trust. We were created in 1949 by an act of Congress to advocate around historic places across the country. It's important to work on a lot of different places, but the reason why we chose New Orleans was that this Chalmette National Cemetery has a tremendous history. It was established in 1864. It has, Spanish American vets or people who fought in the Spanish American War, all the way to World War II. So there's many different conflicts that are represented right here at Chalmette. We are particularly interested here because this site also has over 600 United States colored troops buried here, as well as a number of Buffalo soldiers. So those are the sections that we're starting in because we saw that those were in the worst conditions. One, we're asking them to document the conditions of the headstones. So in preservation, just like any other thing, documentation is always the first thing that you have to do in order to get the ball rolling. So we're asking our volunteers who sign up for documentation to bring their cell phones with them, because we have an app that we're going to capture data about the condition and biographical information of people that are buried there on our cell phones. So make sure you bring your smartphones with you.
That's what these people are doing. Each of these rows and columns and all that, there are sections back toward the camera that are marked, and that lets you know exactly what section. And we were trying to ask when it had been last documented, but we're not sure when it was. Of course, they weren't using smartphones to do it at the time. So that's what we're doing here today. And there's some sort of level of appreciation, maybe because I'm older, but I think everybody's appreciating here that people are here because they, gave their lives for the country.
I'm here coordinating the preservation efforts. I'm one of several preservation experts that they're bringing in for the month. We are resetting the grave markers. So because of the low water table, well, the high water table here at Chalmette, we're right here on the levee wall at Mississippi River. Due to the water rising, the headstones move and shift and fall. So we're using a gantry hoist to raise them and realign them. So we've got a crew of volunteers. We have 2 hoists going. We have 5 volunteers at each hoist. And we're raising them, packing them in a limestone, gravel, and sand, and putting them back in. And that'll help with drainage in the future, so hopefully they won't fall and lean and things like what you see out here now.
So for cleaning the stones out here at Chalmette, we're using D2 Biological Solution, which is a biodegradable, non-toxic solution built for cleaning buildings, but it works perfectly for cleaning headstones. It's safe, it's effective. You don't have to wear gloves or glasses to use it, so it's perfect for a volunteer group like we're having out here with the H.o.p.e crew.
And then when we start scrubbing, we're going to scrub in circular motions, either from the bottom all the way up to the top or top to bottom. Do the sides, the back, the whole thing. And the great thing about the D2 is that that's going to be our last layer. And since it isn't harmful to the grass or anything else around, we can leave it on. As we start getting more rains in a couple weeks, the headstones will continuously get whiter every time they get rained. The chemical will sink into the stone and continue to clean them. So.
When I work on these projects and when I work with young people, it doesn't feel like work to me. It feels like something that has an immediate impact. It's really connecting people to places that are significant. It's telling a story. It's, it's making something that happened 100 years ago a reality. And it's also bringing people and a part of that story. And so, I see when volunteers go through the H.o.p.e program, when young people go through the H.o.p.e program, they're able to come back to parks and sites and places where they worked and say that they made an impact there.